It's all about quality and quantity on Brewsday Tuesday. Here's DreZ and Big Nate.
It is Brewsday Tuesday, brought to you by our friends down there at the Cellar Restaurant and Six Pack Store, downtown Blacksburg. It's where you can get on down there and enjoy some delicious food and beverages. Tell Mikey that you like Brewsday Tuesday thing. So, Nate, we shall continue with our lawnmower beers. And this one,
I'm intrigued.
I was torn on this one. It jumped out at me because it sounds exactly like what you would want for a lawnmower beer. This is Lagunitas Hop, which I don't know. I think it's a series. Hoppy Refresher is what they're calling this. So it should be very light. It should be very refreshing. And I was like, oh, I don't think I've ever had this beer.
Is there a reason?
And then I looked a little closer. 0 alcohol. 0 carbs.
Hey!
0 calories. It does have the nutrition facts on the back, and you can see it's a bunch of zeros if you're watching on the Facebook or the YouTube. It's pure zeros, except at the very end, we do get a 2% daily value of potassium. So, so I'm curious because this, to me, should be essentially water, which, if you're out there mowing, like we said, you should try and stay hydrated.
So I hearken back to a scene from Friends where it's the one where Brad Pitt shows up to Thanksgiving and he brings cookies and he's like apparently he used to be a fat gentleman and he had lost his weight and he's like, there's no carbs, no fat, no sugar, it's no good, throw it away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that would be my first instinct, but then the Lagunitas portion of it has me intrigued. So I'm very curious to know.
One sip in, I'm leaning towards the
throw it away.
The former, because we'll see.
Okay. Well, I'm happier than a pig in mud because DreZ was kind enough to bring my the good old standby that'll get you through in any instance of your life. Pabst Blue Ribbon. Selected as America's best in 1893, they didn't need to compete again.
They're still boasting about that. That's a good ribbon to win right there.
Just resting on their laurels.
So full disclosure, when we first threw around the idea of doing a lawnmower beer, that was the first one that came to mind. PBR, just so simple, readily available. You can just pound them without even thinking about it. It's an easy drinker. You don't really need to worry about trying to untap and stopping your mower while you're, because it's PBR, you've had a million of them. So, and another thing that is obviously the fact that I don't even know if you could really call it a beer.
It's hop water.
The bottle. I feel like it's got to be a can, don't you, when it comes to a lawnmower beer?
Well, so that's actually one of those things when I was watching you watch it out, it's a clear bottle is to me always a red flag with a beer, and the case is no different here. That would have been my first red flag, no alcohol. Second red flag, you got to put that in a can for sure. You almost want to hide that. It's also damn near transparent.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. It is. Honestly, I'm wondering if it actually even says beer. This almost seems more like it's trying to be a seltzer or something.
It's a hop.
It is practically
seltzer.
Clear. It's damn near water. It really is. It's got some fizzies to it. It is clearly carbonated. Actually, let me read around the label here. This IPA-inspired sparkling beverage is a fresh take on an old tradition, a 0 alcohol, 0 carb, 0 calorie refreshment made using everything we know about hops. It's a variation on a theme of 25 years of edgy brewing at the edge of brewing. And then it has a phone number to call. Should we call?
Get him on the horn right
Should
now. I have some questions.
I mean,
Why?
it's not even an 800 number actually. It's a straight up number.
Oh, that's intriguing.
I am intrigued. I mean, we're a little bit after business hours. We could try it. I don't know if they would answer or not, but
Well, they're out there on the West Coast, are they not?
oh yeah, this would be California. And
Get him on the line.
Get him on the horn. We'll get him on the bear
questions.
lines. Let's ask him about this. Let's see. I need to put a phone. Here we go. Yeah, I think everybody can hear that, right? Let's see here. Let's see what we got. Waiting patiently.
Hello, you've reached the Lagunitas Brewing Company. Hope you're staying safe and well. Our tap room and swag store hours are 11:30
It's
a.m.
just
to
straight up
9 p.m.
Lagunitas.
Wednesday through Friday, and 11:30.
All right. Well, we tried.
It was worth a shot.
Would have been nice to actually talk with somebody about
Well,
it.
it's
but-
also like, have you ever run into that scenario where I mean, I've never done that because why would you do that? But apparently, because when I watch movies and TV shows, I'm on IMDb and I always like look at the trivia. But a lot of times, like they'll put phone numbers, like Breaking Bad had one. There was a phone number you could call and you'd end up
and
calling Saul Goodman and
Mhm.
stuff like that. So like I kind of half expected that, but the fact that it just straight up calls Lagunitas,
Yeah, well, I mean,
that's transparency.
yeah, well, it makes sense. But it's also how often do you see a phone number on a beer? I mean, obviously, I felt like I had to call it.
Can you? I mean, there's that, but can you imagine being the person who has to answer those calls every day?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense why it's a recording.
All right, you're drunk, buddy.
Maybe if we let it get to the
Hang up.
end, it probably says, "Oh, if you'd like to speak with whatever." But we ain't got that time. We ain't got that kind of time. We're live on the
They're
radio.
volunteering for drunk dials. That's what they're doing.
Well, maybe that's why they put it on their NA beer.
That's-
I don't know if Lagunitas throws that number out there
That's
all
a
the
good point.
time
We're
or
gonna
not.
have to-
But
Find a. Wait, we got to do some market research.
all right.
Have you? So, another thing that needs to be discussed with mowing lawns, and I only recently evolved from this. The pull start mower.
Yeah.
How have we not improved that situation to where I can only pull once?
Some are a lot better than others. If you get a good mower, you do only have to pull once.
Like, I recently just evolved from that situation. For the longest time, I was mowing with a Craftsman, and it was like 50 pulls, then you got to hit the bulb, and then another 50 pulls, and I'm out there
Man.
like, man, my right arm's getting real strong today.
yeah, once you get a good one that's reliable, you never let that mower go.
Yeah.
You become an old man instantly, and you're like, oh, this is my mower. I don't care what's wrong with it. I'm gonna find a way to fix it.
I did. That's what we did with our refund in 2020. Is
Bought a new mower
bought a new mower.
instead of a
It's the first time
hand-me-down
I'd
or
ever
a
gotten
Craigslist or
Oh
whatever.
my- I was so proud of it, and there was nothing more gratifying than we are like 2 years out, and still every time I pull that cord, starts the first time. But what are they doing that the other companies aren't?
I don't know, man. It's one of those things. Like the one that I have, it's again, it was acquired. It was like my folks' old one, but they don't. I just still go over there and mow it anyways. So I was like, oh, let me just I'll just have it over at my place and I'll just take it when needed. But yeah, it's a Yard Boy or something. I don't know, but I mean, it's what I've been using to mow their lawn for at least a decade, maybe decade and a half. I don't even know, but I mean, without fail, all you got to do, oil, take care of it, start it up. Now, one thing I have heard is you're supposed to use pure.
Small motors do not like ethanol.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
That being said, we've been using regular gas in this thing, and it hasn't been an issue. And it's like it's too late to try and switch that up now. But I do think that if and when I buy a brand new mower, I guess that's the way to go.
It gets the premium.
Yeah, it does.
97 over at the pure gasoline station.
Now, another thing I recently acquired that I think really makes it and I'm so glad I got one. The weed whacker. So really, because the push mower, it can only get so close if you got a fence in your yard or, any sort of, trees, whatever. And then you got the pieces that you just can't get. But now you just go around an extra 10 minutes with that thing, and it really gives it a nice, clean, well-rounded look.
How often are you stopping and having to replace the line? Because I've never had good luck with the weed whacker.
What do you mean the line? Oh, the actual.
Yeah.
Well, I've whacked. I've only, we're still fairly new into the season, and I only got it recently, so I've only whacked my yard twice, but still, and it's not like it was. Again, this was also a weed whacker I acquired, so it's not even a brand new one. But
see, I don't know if I just have terrible luck. Even at my dad's house, he used to have. It wasn't even an eighth of an acre. So we had to use a lot of weed whacker. There was a lot of fence and trim work, and it seemed like every time I used the weed whacker, I was having to fix the damn line.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's some are better than others, but
that's another system we could improve upon.
Another thing so I did have a weed whacker in my old house. I sold it when I got rid of all my stuff and hopped in the RV, but that one, and I'm never doing it again, was an electric. So you had the wire with you. That was such a pain in the ass.
Long extension cable.
Oh, yeah, the 50-foot or maybe even 100-footer or something. But, yeah, now we got the battery. That's the way to go. You get a couple of them so you can swap them if it does start to die out on you, and you're golden. You're golden, pony boy. Golden.
Yard boy. How's that NA beer treating you?
It's gone.
NA sparkling beverage.
You left me half of that IP or the PBR over there, didn't you? All right, that full disclosure. It's obviously, yeah. We'll go ahead and untap it. Why not? It's not a beer, so I don't know. I should probably be. I didn't even. I guess I should have read the fine print, but it's an IPA inspired. What did they say? IPA inspired sparkling beverage. Now. We're sitting here in the comfort of the Bear Studio drinking these beers. The whole idea is that you're out in the hot sun, mowing a yard, sweating your ass off. That said, I guarantee you this is going to taste 10 times better in that situation because it is really refreshing. It's like drinking a sparkling water with a little bit of a hop flavor to it, which is interesting. That being said, I don't think I'm ever going to buy or drink another one. But if that is...
Lesson learned.
If there is a cooler and I'm out there mowing and it has these and, a water, I'd probably get this.
Okay.
Because why not? 0 calories, 0 carbs. I get a little potassium and I'm good to go.
So knowing that, potassium's great for your bones. Knowing that, what would you give it?
That's even if it's even on the Untapped app. I would say this is maybe it is what it is. I hate to hurt the score because it's just not my thing, but I guess it's probably like a 3.5, maybe.
Okay.
I got to give them a little bit of credit for thinking outside the box and doing the hoppy spritzer sparkling beverage thing. I don't think it's been done before, so I could be wrong, but
they're on the edge of brewing. They brag about it on the label.
Shout out Lagunitas.
Yeah, it's
not dogging your product, even though you got the little dog on
this one's different, but yeah, no, I think they make a good product, and I'm actually kind of intrigued and excited to try that.
I'm intrigued,
even just to say I experienced it.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to hear what your PBR score is because I know Bell's is your love for craft beer that gets the 5. Is PBR your domestic that just you always give a 5 to because it's PBR?
Yeah. Well, yes. PBR is the only domestic. If I'm at a bar and there's a Miller Lite, a Bud Light, a Budweiser, I'm probably not going to drink if that's their only options if they don't have any craft beer. 10 times out of 10, I'm going to go for that PBR.
If they have, yeah. And not only that, 10 times out of 10, it's the cheapest option, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's absolutely, you get the most bang for your buck. It's delicious. There's a reason in 1893, just hot off the Civil War and, kind of nearing the turn of the century, they selected it as America's best, and you can rest on those laurels, PBR. It's another one of those beers for me. It's always going to get a 5. They've earned that blue ribbon.
Damn right. I'm with you, man. I love me some PBR, especially when you get it at the right time. And I'd say mowing the lawn is probably one of those instances.
I actually like, that's another side story, is that there are variations on PBR, but they're not widely available here. Apparently you can get them in Canada. Like they still sell PBR Light in Canada.
Yeah, and there's a bigger one too. I think we did it on the show where you can get a PBR that's like an 8% or something. Like I can't remember what they call it.
I kind of want to explore the rest of their catalog, but PBR is fine by me.
Yeah, man. Definitely can't go wrong. All right, so that's a wrap on the lawn edition of Brewsday Tuesday. I could be wrong, but I think next week is a show that I've been waiting and anticipating for quite a while. It'll be a band-themed show, which I am very excited about. So we'll leave it at that. Nate, as always, I appreciate you hanging around a little bit later and drinking some beers with me.
I love it.
And everybody else, I appreciate you listening. I will reward you with more rock. We'll take a quick break, and we'll get back to the tunes right here on 105.3 The Bear. Stick around.